What's up, everybody? It's Flashwing. Let's see here. First of all, let's kind of lower that a little bit. First of all, you guys will have to excuse the dirtiness of the R1 today. My girl is a mess. We had some rain on Saturday, and yes, I was out riding in the rain. I know it's hard to believe that us dirty sport bikers are actually living that hashtag bike life where we're out riding in less than perfect weather. I know, it's amazing. I wanted to bring you guys kind of another street survival series today and dig into a topic a little bit deeper, which is that of awareness. Are we sneaking up on the light? Are we going to scare it if we get too close to it too fast? Hey, this is that low speed. Oh boy. If you've seen some of my other videos with street survival tips, some of these themes may be a little repetitive, so I'll just be upfront with that right away. I was contacted by a subscriber. I believe his name is Chase. Spelled C-H-A-C-E. And sir, if I have your name wrong, I do sincerely apologize. I can barely remember my own, but I believe this gentleman's name is Chase. Chase is a rider down in Tucson who belongs to an MC down in Tucson, and he contacted me on the side and asked me to give a shout out and a mention to a friend of his named Manny. And Manny, unfortunately, last week, I believe, it's last week or the week before, lost his life while riding down in Tucson when a garbage truck apparently pulled into his path. I don't know any details about the incident other than the facts that Chase had given me, but I simply wanted to honor Chase's request to mention his friend Manny, who I'm told is known by many riders in Tucson and someone who is respected, because it's things like awareness that are critically important, absolutely critical. And what I'm going to talk about is in no way a reflection or criticism of anything regarding what happened to Manny. I really do not know any details about his situation. I've never ridden with him before. I've never met him before. So those of you who know Manny or know Chase, please do not take the rest of the comments with this video as me being critical or disrespectful. This is completely isolated. I have no idea what happened with Manny's situation. But talking about awareness, awareness is key. Awareness is very simply being conscious of your environment, knowing things such as weather conditions, time of day, what's going on around you with the drivers. You can be as granular or as basic as you want to get, but awareness is key to your survival on a bike. The more information that you have about your environment, the better decisions you can make about the things that you're doing, and ultimately the safer you can be. Now, because information is key, well, the reason why awareness is so difficult for new riders is because new riders are dealing with processing all sorts of information that they've never dealt with before. When you're a new rider, and this was my experience, maybe everyone has a different experience, but my experience was when I started riding, everything was so overwhelming, especially the freeway, because there was all this new sensory data that you had to process. If you're in a car, you're not dealing with first of all, you've got an object around you that's static. You know, you've got a dashboard and seats and windows and chairs and all sorts of things that don't change. It doesn't move. You don't have any visual information from those things. They're static. They don't change. So when you're on a bike, everything around you, with the exception of what's right underneath you, is moving. The street, the landscaping, the sky, everything is in motion. And because it changes, it's more difficult to keep tabs on, more difficult to process. So when you're a new rider, all of this data is overwhelming. Not only the visual data, but the auditory data, the things that you hear, and the things that you smell, and the things that you feel, the wind on your arms and your chest, and the bike that's beneath you. These are all sensations that you don't get in a car. And it's a lot, especially for a new rider that's not used to taking in all of these sensations and sights and sounds, and so being aware when you're a new rider is really difficult. And if you're thinking about a sliding scale between unaware and highly aware, you're very close to the unaware side, because all you're really aware of is all of the new things that are happening to you. It's like trying to listen in a conversation across the room when you have a speaker blaring in your face. You almost can't hear the details or even understand what people are saying, because all of the upfront sensory data is overwhelming. I just want to make it very clear. As you start to ride more, you'll begin to discard some of that sensory data. Doesn't mean you're not experiencing things, but your brain can only really truly process so much at once. And as a result of that, you have to be able to maybe even subconsciously learn to discard the things that are going on around you that aren't important. So that's one of the primary differences between experienced riders and unexperienced riders, is that experienced riders are better accustomed to getting all of this sensory data, and they can more easily discard the stuff that's not important. But what kind of things do you want to be aware of when it comes to awareness? I would say that the easy answer is be aware of everything that you can be aware of, but some of the highlights most notably are going to be things like weather conditions. How much can you see? How far is your line of sight? Is it windy? Is it calm? Is it cold? Are you cold? Are you hot? What are your body conditions like? If you're tired, all of these things will impact how you react to a crisis, how fast you should be going, what your following distances should be. But that also includes things like, what are the road conditions like? Here in Arizona, we get dust storms, which can could potentially produce slippery conditions. They could also produce loss of visibility. But just like, what kind of shape is the road in? Are there potholes? Are there gravel? Is there stuff that you can't see? I know that, I've been on roads before where it wasn't very easy to identify what was the road and what was a pile of rubble, like a pile of rocks and debris that you could just as easily slide out on. So you have to be aware of that sort of stuff too. But beyond that, what about the drivers on the road? What about the drivers? What are the drivers doing? How are they behaving? What are they driving? One of the nice things about being on a bike, in particular a sport bike, or even like an adventure bike, is we have a little bit of a height advantage. And I can see into people's cars. And one of the things that I will do is I always give people a look. I kind of scope out what they're doing. And I use my mirrors. I look at their mirrors. You can see in the side mirror of a car, assuming it's aimed correctly, you can see the face of the person in that car. What are they doing? Are they looking down? One of the indications of looking down is somebody who is heavily distracted. They could be texting. I've seen people digging around on the floor. you know, what's going on inside that car? Is there a passenger? I'll frequently see people with passengers, and of course they're talking to their passenger, and the car will start to sway a little bit, and I'll notice that one or both passengers, they're getting really animated. Their hands are moving around wildly, and occasionally I can see their face turn, and I can see their mouth, and their mouth is wide and making, you know, quick movements like they're yelling at someone. You know, things like that. If you know the conditions inside the car and it's clear that someone is distracted, that's a car you're going to want to avoid. You know, those are the kinds of things those are the kinds of details when it comes to drivers that you want to know about. But the key also, and I'm going to go ahead and play the video for you. I'm going to set this up for you very quickly. I'm going to walk you through it right now. Watch this guy pull right out in front of me. See, that's what you guys see how good I called that? I was going through Tempe Marketplace, and I'm cruising through the parking lot, and of course Tempe Marketplace parking lot has got a lot of blind spots in it, and I came upon a sedan on my right hand side, and there was, I believe, a power box that was right there. So this woman pulls up in her sedan, and she's most likely going to turn left, so that means she's going to turn not only into my path, but across. She's going to cross my path. And of course, this is obviously very dangerous because I could T-bone her if she was to pull directly in front of me. I approached the car, I noticed the power box, and I instinctively thought to myself, she's not going to be able to see me. Her windows are up, and she's going to start inching out into the intersection to check and see if there's anybody there, or she may just go. So I had to be prepared to do one of two things, which is either to gas the bike or to swerve out of the way. You know, so it was all good. I saw it from a mile away. And I saw it from a mile away because I was aware that this driver had limited to no visibility of me. I'm a small object, and they're in a parking lot. So I mean, when you're in a parking lot, you're not necessarily actively looking for the things to run into. You know, it's low speed, and since it's low speed, people tend to let their guard down. You know, if anything, people are going to be looking for pedestrians at Tempe Marketplace because they walk out in front of everything and everyone wherever they want. Thank you for watching today. I hope this was useful, helpful. That was someone else to watch out for. Stay safe, stay aware, stay alive out there, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for riding with me today, and we will see you out there.